Millennium to power millennium, universes honor Kalka, good morning, millennium power millennium, good morning everybody, millennium power millennium, good morning everybody, Namaskar. This is Ina Suraj Singh speaking from Bharat, India on this March 27, 2022, Sunday 3:04 AM. मैं सूरज सिंह सिविल इंजीनियर भारत इंडिया से बोल रहा हूँ। आज मार्च 27, 2022 रविवार coordination engineering projects works. Reliable engineers, power of communication, concrete, civil engineering, contracts, safety, health, environment, designs, methods, disputed claims. Parties. It is usual. I'm talking about works. I'm talking about contracts. And of course, I'm talking about performance. Contract performance, works performance, quality performance, and you can say life performance. As usual, my files I try to show you always in the beginning itself. Just for this file is email ID. You can say email is written down here. Suraj underscore engineer, SURAJ Suraj underscore ENGINEER at yahoo.co.uk. And this is titles, you can see yourself. And then it is certification of at international level, at international professional engineer, registered in India, that is international professional in India. Validity is up to 30th September 2025. Then further renew further if I am alive and I can. There is a chartered engineer certification based on corporate membership of Institution of Engineers India, to which I belong as fellow, and that is this fellow. I have been fellow, I had been member, as well as I had been associate member. Long journey started effective 1981 when I was elected as associate member. Then it was 1986 when I was elected as member. I was 2016 and I was acted as fellow. And this is quality file. I made certain changes in this coordination file. And of course, there is then another file which I'm going to open now, and that is concrete specifications. It is from Japan. Concrete specification can be from whatever country, doesn't matter, as far as it has got standards, it has got complete system to describe as much as we can know from that. And that is concrete specification. And also we have other files. I'll try to let me close this file first. Chartered engineer file I close, and fellow engineers fellow file I close. So I have liquid space here, and then I also open file that is melamine. We are talking yesterday, and that was melamine file here. And for reference, I'm opening it out because we continued yesterday to talk on this. We have to talk again on this melamine, which is important one. It's concrete material, melamine. We have to talk of this. I talked yesterday about this. And of course, there are maybe other files which will have naphthalene. We talked of naphthalene, and talked of ester. We talked of carboxylic acids. So naphthalene, if you see, open this naphthalene as well. We'll see, I'll close it because I'm showing to you. Start. We talk of this one also in last talk. Naphthalene. And this was, I think, we'll cover this. We had covered this. It is something else. We'll take care of that now. And so take care of this also. Meanwhile, here I'll close it now for time because crowded one. I'll open it, and melamine also. You can say concrete. Let us say First of all, let us close this also for the space is available. I'm starting with quality file. Quality, which is you can say our spirit in our blood. We should have spirited blood. We should have blood based on purity and soul, purity of soul. If you don't have purity of soul, we can't be good human. Before starting this professional talk and general talk, I can say this is both. It's for both profession as well as general life, because if general people understand what is quality, professional must have done better than that. And if we do not respect quality, this means we do not respect ourselves. I usually write on Facebook about what's happening in our nation, what's happening around the world. Every day I browse many newspapers, many websites from different parts of the world. I try to read news and refer to you those news references, URLs, after thinking that something you may get, and I also conduct some analysis if it's required on my own based on my brief experience and mind. What I have understood that history has always been same. History always been same means human is natural born to fight. I don't know why. It is, I think, weakness of human being to fight for nothing. Just like you have seen or you usually often see, dogs fight in streets. Other animals fight street. They don't think, they just fight for sake of fighting. Have you ever noticed that these dogs, stray dogs who are not pet, they keep themselves on roads or traffic roads or in houses. They keep as if that area is kingdom for them. It happens. They think that this is their kingdom. And if some car passes, some other passes, and one dog doesn't feel happy, that dog runs behind that car. For what I don't know, but it runs. It runs, it travels, it walks a distance, and then comes back when its border is over. Means that is country for that dog. And there are various countries on every road. Means it doesn't allow anybody else to eat. And you can say that is character of a dog. Same way, every animal has character. Now I am explaining to you this because there is a requirement. What we are, what humans are. God has given us body, God has given us all parts of body, God has given us part number one, and that is called mind or brain. That is part number one I consider, or lead part or king part of a body, and that part is significantly important. This part is so big, so powerful, that it can make this world better, more comfortable, more worshipable, like a temple. This world can become our home for few years, and also same mind can destruct this home. This mind has both functions. It can destruct and it can make. And what is to be done is decided by individual mind. Individual mind is very, very useful and also very, very abuseful. It's both. It depends upon what do you think. I'm talking about this because it's part of work. Without mind, we cannot work. Without body, we cannot work. And this mind produced many machines. It got many materials because of mind and application of mind. Mind results in technology, the use of technology, and you can say development of technology, application of technology, and so on. You can say there remains no end. And that's what I say. Human is very valuable. It's a part of nature to some extent, like other creatures too. But human is different. Other animals, other creatures only require food. They do not require anything else. Birds, surface animals, and other animals like monkeys. You can consider whosoever, whether they are in forest or they are in cities, they remain in cities. They have only one ambition in life, to have food. And if they have food and water, I think that is end of their requirement. They enjoy life after that. Every other creature. There's only one creature on earth who's called human. Human, whose requirements are limitless, no limits. Human, if get all wealth, well, suppose one individual gets all wealth of this world, that individual won't satisfy, then that individual will say, I want wealth from moon, or I want wealth from other planet. That is what you can say, character of human, or that is mind of human, or you can say that is weakness of human, or strength of human. You can name it your way. I would call it foolishness of human, simply saying foolishness of human. It's because every human is a project. You got my point? Just like I'm talking of project, every individual is a project in eyes and in plans of that power who produced this world, who produced this universe, who produced this solar system, and who produced every individual. For that power, human is just like nothing. Okay, it's a piece of paper, right, finish? Or it's a piece of an article, nothing else. There may be 8 billion, 9 billion, or 10 billion, whatever you can assess individuals on earth now. These are nothing. Okay, earth is quite adequate in size to accommodate this number of population with good food. There is no problem at all. But good food only does not satisfy, does not give contentment to a person. It doesn't give contentment. You can't contain with this because we have fake ambitions in our life. Just like we used to read the story, ask for more in 10 short stories in our school life. 10 says ask for more. We had to ask for more. I'm referring it from quality point of individual. What is quality character of an individual? Quality attribute of an individual. Quality attribute is very important. And that's why I say real quality. What is real quality? Real quality of an individual is that individual must keep in mind that it is only a project. And one day this project has to go to become again non-project. We are project. We are, you can say, when we come to this earth, it's day of our start. And we leave this earth, that is day of completion. Within this gap, duration, nobody knows, but that power knows what is your duration. It's written on your software. Everything is written. Every information is available. But we don't care because we do not accept that we are projects. We accept that we shall remain operational for unlimited time. And this concept, this plan doesn't help develop individual. Nothing belongs to me, I know. Nothing belongs to you, you should know. Earth is just a journey, surface journey. It's not even air journey. This journey is too limited. It depends on what's your lifespan. I have seen, and you must have seen, the current time does not allow people generally to cross 70 years, 80 years, 60 years, 70 years, 80 years. Generally, people don't have more than this. Maybe some exceptional cases go for 120 years, 150 years, 1 or 2%, 3%, 4%. We have to accept this fact. Next moment is not known. That is true. Though we are projects ourselves, every person is a project. Project doesn't know what shall happen to it. Same way, individual who is a project doesn't know what shall happen to it. But we keep on with hopes. 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 Hopes for what? I don't know. What for? Are you permanent resident of this earth? Are you going to live for 5,000, 10,000 years? Not at all. The hopes for what? How can project have hope on itself? It cannot have its help on itself because project does not have control of project. It is operator of that project. It is executor of that project. It is designer of that project. It is engineer of that project who has to take responsibility of doing it. It's not done. How can you say project is responsible for a project? We have to keep this point and understand this point. Life is a project, not my project. It is my real parent project. Real parent means my soul parent, and that is God or whatever you say, I do not know. It's just a reference. In what form it is, how it is, what it is, I have no explanation to that. But because we feel so, that there is someone who takes care of everyone. So there is no use of disclaimer here. It is claimed automatically that there exists someone to whom we call supreme power that takes our care. And it's true that that supreme power has already fixed a date for me to leave this world. And there's nothing wrong in that, because job is job, assignment is assignment. When you mobilize someone on project, demobilization also on cards. That point we have to understand. It's very easy these days to do crimes. Very easy. It's very easy to, to leave people to wars, to allow them not to have comfort, to torture them, to combat them. I don't know why people fight. I don't know really. I don't know how one country thinks I am superior, other country thinks, oh, I am inferior. I don't know reason for that. And I don't understand how people think in terms of economy. They think as if this is their economy. Every country thinks my economy. It thinks my patent. It's my fundamental right. This weakness of human kills, in fact, development of human. It, in fact, kills your soul properties. It destroys your soul properties. It destroys everything. Somebody in politics is interested to have complete power, full power of whole world or whole country. That person also doesn't know what for it is. I'm talking for all politicians of world. All politicians of world. You are nothing. Mr. Politicians and Mrs. Politicians of this world. You are nothing. You are nothing, in fact. You are failing in test. You have been failing in test because you think you are honor, but fact is that you are not even servant. Highest position in world, whatever position one has, just like on projects, highest responsible engineer should be accountable. And same way, highest politicians of every country, topmost politicians of every country is top servant of those people who live in that country. I'm calling country because it's a fact. Otherwise, for me, there is only one country, and that is Earth. I belong to Earth. Nobody can deny this fact. Nobody can deny this fact. Even though I cannot go all over world because of political reasons, because of foolishness, but I belong to Earth till I am moving with this journey. I'm walking, I'm moving on this journey. I belong to Earth. Every dog belongs to Earth. Every creature belongs to Earth. And no one can divide this. No one can deprive me or deprive everyone. Yes, there are countries, relative countries I can call them. I can call them absolute or original countries. These are all relative countries, imaginary countries. These boundaries, imaginary boundaries, because we have boundaries on surface of Earth. We don't have boundaries in air. We don't have boundaries in waters. We don't have boundaries in, you can say, skies. That boundary, whatever we consider is my line, that is a relative boundary only. Otherwise, we cannot put boundary wall in here. Can you say that I put a boundary wall on American boundary in air, that you can't come to me without my permission? You cannot, nobody can stop power of soul, work of soul, whenever it works. It can go to whatever place. That point we have to understand. I call it foolishness of entire people of world, that your leaders you think work for you. Until you are not your own leader, these leaders can't work. Keep it in mind. First you lead yourself. Every person on earth is its own leader. There is no requirement of any leader, but because everybody is not responsible, everybody cannot do anything. Therefore, a person who represents all is required to serve all. It's like that. If there is a garden in community area, somewhere in any township, and the responsibility of this maintenance or its upkeep goes to community, the community will take care of that. It looks nice in a statement, very nice. See what a beautiful statement this person is giving, that this is a responsibility and accountability of all. You give this responsibility to all, and you will not find that someone is responsible. You will not find anybody responsible, performing responsible, not, I'm saying, responsible on paper. There will be not even a single person who will take care, because no one is responsible. This is the only reason that some delegation is given by that community to some group or to some employee or to some whosoever to take responsibility of that garden on payment or without payment, whatever it be, but that responsibility is given to some particular person. Same way, some responsibility is given to some particular person. It may be democratically or otherwise. I think democracy is also something fictitious. It is not fictitious in its effect, but it has been made fictitious. It has been made just a stage of drama. It's not real. It's something that it has been used as instrument of power rather than service of people. Instrument of power. I have power. I want power, but I don't know what shall I do with this power. I don't know, because if you have much more and all power with you, you even do not understand what for is that power. And we don't understand what for is that power. In that case, you do not do anything that makes or keeps up that power. Rather, you start fusing it and breaking it. Tell me one thing. individual or human, are they slaves to politicians? They are not slaves to politicians. They are not born for politicians. They are owners of that land. But these politicians think that they are masters of everybody, they are parent of everybody, and they can do whatever they want. Wars, very dangerous game. We know there can be no benefit to either party who won war. It's only destruction that we achieve. It's only damages, destruction, killings, properties damage. And then we feel that we are a great country. Offender as well as defender, both are same, there's no difference. Then why wars? That is a question. Can war be qualitative? It can never be. It's very easy to fight. It's very easy to break. It's very easy to put on fire. But it is very difficult and time consuming to bring back to original standard after fire or after break of war. Life is disturbed, everything is disturbed. And we think we are great leaders. That is what I don't understand. And history tells that. History tells that. War is never good. Fight is never good. Exploitation of earth is also not very good. But nobody understands. Every country has become selfish. Every country. If you consider war of Iraq at time, 28 countries attacked Iraq. That was very, very foolishness, I can say. Of course, war was not an answer, and nobody achieved anything. Since then, Iraq has been destroyed. Iraq, that stood in the 1980s, 1970s, a big country, beautiful country, architect beautiful, structural beautiful, qualitative country, welfare state, that has gone somewhere in dreams. That Iraq today exists is different. It's not that Iraq. Same way, whichever country was destroyed and is being destroyed, you will face same results. Because it is foolishness. People are not considered for war. Nobody asks them, do you want war? And some people are there, some everywhere, you can say emotional peoples or people without mind who always talk in religion way, on religious lines. They talk on, you can say, religious lines or money lines or economy lines, means they have no lines to discuss. Remember, when question of religion comes into life, it is fictitious world. Religion is fictitious world. Faith is fictitious world, because these are not reals. These are just some concept in your mind has been built. Some concept, foolish concept, nonsense concept that comes to your mind, and you start differentiating among human beings. Can you say about dogs, about cats, about birds, about all creatures, what religion do they have? Do they fight for religion? They are better than human beings. These animals are better. These birds are better. They are better quality people. They are also people. What's wrong with that? Of course, bodies are different, but souls are same. I consider these creatures, air creatures or ground creatures, water creatures, whosoever creatures, they don't have any problem with each other. Of course, food is required. They don't have any problem of economy. That is a lesson for human body. We know everybody wants something. I want clothes, I want house, I want food. Yes, that's true, that's basic requirement. But why dog doesn't want that? Dog never fights, oh, I must have a bungalow. It's enough if dog gets food, cow gets food, or some other animals gets food, or birds get food. For them that's sufficient. So you can say indirectly that these creatures, non-human creatures, can teach us. We cannot teach them, but we think they are useless, we are better. What I am saying is, this is quality talk, coordination talk, then you must ask, why you are talking all this? No, I am not talking all this. Life is also having quality, it should have. Life must have quality. Life is very short. Our tenure of life is limited. It is limited life project. It's not forever. Somebody has 20 years working life. Somebody has 50 years working life. I don't think more than that somebody has life. And that is our job prescription. You can decide what job you have to do, and whatever you get, that's the job. So we should be good in that. Okay, we have families, we have countries, we have relations, but those who live here, no relation shall go with me, no political leader shall go with me, no other person shall go with me, no one shall go with me. I am accountable, I am responsible. My files, whatever are available there, against me or for me, I have to respond to, I have to explain, no one else. Why don't we keep this in mind? Why do we forget everything every day? Why do we not understand it's our duty to protect nature and it's our duty to protect others, each other? Because we don't use our mind. Human has mind, but human does not use mind perfectly. Human uses emotions, human uses sentiments that we call conscience. Conscience, when sentiments dominate, when sentiment arouse, those sentiments cannot arouse for long period. You cannot arouse sentiments for continuous times, but mind applies continuously. Sometimes what happens, sentiments overweigh mind and mind is defeated. But it cannot be continuous because sentiments lead to fire. Sentiments leads to fight, quarreling. Sentiments leads to murders. Sentiment leads to ultimately damages. But when you apply minds, mind may give you whatever you want. It depends. It depends on your dedication towards that goal you want to achieve. That's not right. We have to define ourselves. Nobody can tell me what I have to do. I know what I have to do. And that person also knows that this and this position it has to do that. Job description, just read this right. Of course, job also cannot be described in perfect form, but reference is okay. Some reference is there. Quality is a part of life, as I always say. Quality is a part of life, and everybody is sleeping on that. That's really very bad. I say in this that we have in this country oils, real quality and real coordination. I added this word real because I think there should be some better indication, better message. Quality exists there. It may be bad quality or good quality. I'm talking of real quality. It's not quality of mine or yours, it's quality of product, it's quality of service, it's quality everywhere. That's why I say we have to realize it. It's not simply choice or option. It is to be realized, and that realized is very significant part of life. If we define real quality, every quality is real. To extent we define or to extent we control. God has not made any friction. God has not done any injustice to anyone. God has given you a complete system to everyone, including animals, including birds. God has designed and given you complete system, and there is complete electrostatic force, electromagnetic force, which moves all around us, which we call soul, power of soul, soul, S-O-U-L, soul, whose strength is based on spirit, S-P-I-R-I-T. If you understand both, we can do a lot. Because mind is mind, it contains soul, it contains current, it contains anxiety, and it contains analysis, it contains synthesis, it contains thinking, it contains brilliance. Mind contains all those which others can't. But mind is ruler. It cannot help otherwise. If you want to draw help from mind, it's already there. Mind immediately answers you if you raise a question. But if you have emotions within you, if you yourself are emotional, then your mind will not help you. That's the important point. Why I'm widening this talk? Because this talk is not limited to my country. This talk is limited to all places of world, all areas of world. Quality, coordination are required everywhere. And everyone is sleeping, I think. Everyone is sleeping, particularly in our country and of course in other countries too. People talk, people talk, people talk, people write, people speak. But those people who can do something, those numbers are very limited. Politics is not helpful anywhere. So far we have seen politics has destroyed everything. This politics does not respect human being. Politicians respect only seat, only power everywhere. You go to whatever country, you will find this is my father's property and I am patent of that. That type of understanding or concept is not acceptable. I'm talking of quality of every individual. Quality in our country, Bharat, India, what people we think and what we do, we know well. We should be quality people because we are well cultured. We are well defined. I'm not talking of religion at all. I'm talking of humanity. I'm talking of that soul power which lies in every person all over the world, every creature all over the world. I'm talking of that power. And that's my quality. How good I am in work, how good I think, how good I do, how good I respect others. This is not, you can say, Satyavadi time, of course, but no time is also meant for fake word, fake messages. I consider all time Satyavadi, truth-based. Nobody can deny that fact. And I also do not internally accept any yuga, or this era is for this and this era is for that. That is all designed. People call in our country, not only in our country, every country you can apply that. We say it is Satyug, it is Treta Yug, it is Kali Yug. Well, it's your own definition. It's not God's definition. It's your thinking, your concept. What somebody thought for you and wrote and you followed that. There is no Satyug, there was no Satyug, there was no other Yug. All times are same. Did you ever hear this sun was different in Satyug, or earth was different, or child of a birth used to take very long time, not 9 months, or now it's 9 months. I mean, there is nothing as such. But we go behind fictitious world. We go behind fictitious theorems, not real world. God has given us earth, and earth has got its own properties, its own structure. Air, sphere, lithosphere, and then total earth. We know air part and solid part and water part. If you combine all in equation, that is called earth. Its dynamic action, its stationary action, all that science tells. And we have to regard that. Earth is for all, we saw. It's not only for all, for those who are here now. Of course, until they are here, they have their responsibility of earth, and earth has a responsibility for them. It's both ways. If I do not contribute to make this earth better, this means I don't play my role. I fail to play my role that God has given me. That job description is very powerful. Job description here given by some organization is not that important as their own job. That's what I say. We are not interested in outcome and income. You say, no, I have to do this. This is my religion says. I don't know why do we whine about that. I don't know reason behind that. Why should one belong to one? Why don't you belong to earth? Why don't you belong to God? Why don't you belong to this universe, this nature? You try to belong to it really. All bad items will go away. If you think that this is not your earth, then you are right person. And if you think that this is your earth, then I think there is some problem in your mind. Certainly, you have a problem in mind. You think, this is my world. Your world is in you. Your world is your soul. Your world is your mind. Your world is within you. It's not talk of a soul, it's talk of an engineer. If my mind is clean, my soul is clean, certainly I will deliver quality. Because I shall have no fear. I shall have fear that I have no right to waste natural materials. I have no right to waste anything because it is my parent who made for me, for us. We say in these days in engineering or otherwise, sustainability development or something that can sustain for long journey. Today, whatever we do, and if you compare to 50 years back, whatever you were and we had, and maybe before that, what this world was, what life was, we cannot answer this question. Because technical development has changed life. What life we saw in my infancy, in 1960s, 70s, that life disappeared. But power of that life still works. If you talk to those people, maybe very old people or those who are going towards that or who experienced 30, 40, 50 years back, those individuals all over the world, and you compare it to now, yes, there is development difference, there is difference in status and facilities, but if you see ultimately what is reality is still that everybody wants food, everybody wants clothing, housing, everybody wants to live, and that everybody wants that. Nobody knows what's function of life, nobody knows what's object of life, but we keep on moving and moving and moving and moving. Where to moving? Moving to our permanent home, permanent residence. And once we go there, there is no way we can come back. And we try to get more and more, even there if you go. That's why I'm saying our quality of thought should also work. When we say quality of works, it's quality of contemplation, and contemplation is some standard template that can be filled in. Just like we say template in computer world, this template is very important. So contemplation is a verb. Contemplation must be done. And what contemplate we do? If you talk to individual, 98% people will talk of that personal requirement, family requirement, materials. Nobody thinks of that power. They think only for formality purpose. I have gone to temple, I have worshipped. I have gone to mosque, I have prayed. I have gone to churches. That is just a formality. That's not fact of life. That's not reality of life. You may pray all time. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You can pray. It's your function. It's your choice. But you have to think of this world and use and work for this. You have to think that everybody has certain function of God. Today you can use your power for destruction. Every leader who is in power, I don't call it power actually. It should be service of society. Reality is that. It doesn't mean I should kill people even if it belongs to other country. I have no right to do that, but it happens and societies are destabilized. That destabilization is main problem. You have to really understand this. Now, what is happening in Russia and Ukraine, we are talking, it's very, very hot issue. Same what happened in Syria and what happened in Iraq and what happened in Afghanistan and what happened in Yemen, you can say, and many other locations around the world. People don't want to fight. No society, no community wants to fight. People never want to fight. That is also a fact. Who wants to fight? These political leaders want to fight. They don't fight in front, they don't go to in front, but they fight based on people, based on defense forces, and based on wealth of your country. People never want to fight, but because power lies with these politicians, and they don't care for people. That's why I say quality of life is different. These political leaders have spoiled economy, they spoiled every good specification, they spoiled everything, and they imposed their own wills on other wills. What I understand, these politicians, whosoever they are, from whose country, generally they are not politicians at all. Not politicians at all. Politics is a service. Politics is a dedication. Politics is devotion. Politics is something that you should feel happy and you should think that, yes, I've done this. I involve myself in this society. I'm getting benefit as well as I'm doing something for them. That depends on what sort of thinking you have. And that's what I say. It's quality of thinking. It's quality of thinking, quality of analyzing, quality of coordination, and quality of everything. That item that you have, this fits in. And really saying we should not sleep on that. But everybody sleeps in our country as well as in many other countries. So what I say, get up real quality. You cannot sleep. Yes, you can sleep if I intend that you sleep. Otherwise, you can't sleep. And get up real or reliable coordination. After a long talk, I come to this page. Everyone stop sleeping in our country and be my and everybody's friend, everyone's friends, because I and others cannot work in profession without you both domains, and that's real quality and real coordination. And particularly I'm talking of our country, Bharat, India. It can be talked of all countries. Ultimately, COVID has taught us a lesson, to be very frank. We might not have learnt otherwise. COVID does not care for money. COVID does not care for your wealth. COVID doesn't care for your country. COVID doesn't care for anything except it does it work. It does it work, and you stand nowhere if COVID stands. COVID-19 is a teacher, is a professor representing God's department, and he's so strong in potential. It doesn't go back. I think everyone faces that kind of study, that kind of, we can say, approach. And we must understand that we are all friends, we are not different, we are together for all others, and whatever quality has been demanded or required, I'm saying demanded because this is better word, that my project specification demands it to be implemented or to be achieved, and that is what we say demanded quality, or you can say mandated quality. It's of course not free of cost, it's for cost. It's not easy even for paying cost that you can get it. You cannot get it otherwise. It's very important point, important question that we have to answer, but we cannot answer. We all move in footsteps of politicians which have only invested interest, nothing else. They have investors, you can say stress, and should we call them? It's my point, very, very small point we have to respond to if life like is that. Sometimes we think, sometimes we don't think, but domains are domains, they keep on moving, you have to keep with them. And we have to establish both this real quality and real coordination. Permanently, this should be, of course, permanent. I mean to say, if if public follow, if professionals follow, if workers follow, this can continue. But if this, you don't continue this, you be strict on that. Okay, I'll do it. Do whatever you want. That attitude is not constructive. That attitude is disruptive. I did not know anything in past about what's meaning of life, what's meaning of this. And I'm not saying I know now also. It's just going through understanding in our minds. We can write a lot. We can say, no, it's my formula or it's my derivation. That's easy to say, but you practice it. It's all different. So in this case, we said that you are required permanently to establish engineering profession, also other walks of life. And we have here performing applications, quality, active quality performing applications, and quality and safety, health, etc. We have here with what we have intention is real quality engineering and real coordination engineering approach we should have if you want to change scenario and if you want to really enjoy life peacefully. Enjoying life peacefully is more important than enjoying life in destruction or in enjoying. It's really significant if you take that way. Purpose is quality, leading mind is quality and construction, and where quality and construction means quality and coordination, and we have to fix quality everywhere, particularly in our country. Come what may, no excuse for any concession. There can be no compromise in quality. We do not intend to compromise just in name of systems, just name of systems, fragile quality system. Compliance formality is an excuse. Because quality system may fail, but works quality must perform, be delivered. But it doesn't happen currently in entire scenario in our country. And we had preliminary considerations used to say where does real or demanded quality exist. I am saying is demanded. Demanded, you know what? Demand. I don't know what to say demanded, or I can say decided by designer. What should be approach of? So my dear friends, say preliminary considerations, where does real demand quality exist? And it exists nowhere generally. And answer is unsuccessful to find any location. Unfortunately, unknown conduct it is. Where does required actions exist? It can be said that under controls, and the defined can preliminary considerations. Then we have some other considerations. Requirement of coordination, it should be successful, and also unknown conduct. And we say that you defined or can you find for deliberations existing red lines to be resolved. Whatever obstructions do exist, whatever hazards are expected, you have to take care of those. The question is very simple: is existing red lines to be resolved? How to resolve? Who to resolve? What's way? And that's what I say. Can we bring working environment to quality and coordination requirements? Then if yes, or how to find it? That's we say is always useful, and we go to file of coordination, and coordination is something in its own a domain. Coordinators in whatever field, if they are not dynamic, they remain busy, and they are dynamic, they use mind capacity, they can sell product very fast. As I said, coordination engineering projects, public and engineers, and also we talk of concrete specifications here. Standard specifications of concrete, where we had reached somewhere. In this, many talks were held. In chemical industries also, we had met our these you know these friends we refer to chemically or otherwise. Corrosion, we talked of corrosion inverters and talked of reinforcing material as well, reinforcing bars, and we talked of where pre-steel. Let's go to 100 page and think on this. What does it say? Reinforcing material, and let's say page 100 here is, we have to see here how does it go. We studied last time, but chemical admixtures. We have these agents affects what agents in air entering high. And we can say standard types of propulsion. We did started type. Corrosion inhibitors talk. This corrosion inhibitors for reinforcing parts and process chemical admixtures to be used for suppressing corrosion caused by chlorides from use of C, and corrosion inhibitors may be classified into corrosion inhibitors of passive film forming type, corrosion inhibitors of precipitating film forming type, and corrosion inhibitors of absorption film type. Quality of utilization, so there are 3 points you can understand. Let's start in fast way, because it's important. Everything is important, but understand this fact as well. Zero signals are really, it's dirty work of these people. They don't realize what's required. 4 o'clock in time, and its temperature is, let me see how much is temperature, because that's also an important point to keep record of temperature everywhere. I think it's more than 24 probably. Morning 4 o'clock, what is this? What's that? It's 24 degrees now, 24 degrees with humidity 28%, slightly dry, and you can say day temperature is expected to be 40 degrees Celsius, quite hot, and then night temperature 21 degrees is expected. So that's temperature when I'm talking of, and I'm saying. I go back to my file. It says several types of air entering agents. We have several types of air entering agents, water reducing agents, air entering water reducing agents, air entering and high range water reducing agents are available. Respective quality and performance are quite different, and we have here fully charged and pull it off also is better if you don't charge. Just a minute, please. I just put off battery because it is fully charged, and it's also 24 degrees, so it's quite considerably hot. And I also So let's go on talking about this. And it's we talked about before. Let me repeat it so that we can remind. Though several types of air entraining agents, water reducing agents, air entraining and water reducing agents, or air entraining and high range water reducing agents are available, respective quality and performance are quite different. Only good quality chemical admixtures can say, conforming to requirements. Chemical admixtures for concrete should be used, and chemical admixtures for concrete are classified into air entraining agents, water reducing agents, and air entraining and water reducing agents. I can say standards, etc. And all these acts when chemical admixtures are also classified into type 1, 2, and 3 by amount of chlorides, ions supplied from admixtures of concrete. Therefore, when chemical admixtures are used, adequate type of chemical admixtures, types of chemical admixtures shall be selected in consideration with purpose of its use, setting time, hardening rate or limit of chloride contents in concrete, etc. Proper use of air entraining agents, water reducing agents, or air entraining and water reducing agents, air entraining and high range water reducing agents in concrete may result in many desirable effects: reduction of unit water content, improvement of workability, increase in resistance to freezing and thawing, improvement in water tightness. You can say here is that water tightness, and then let's see. And of course, we have here, of course, you can say, therefore, when chemical admixtures are used, adequate type of chemical admixture shall be selected in consideration with purpose of its use, setting time, hardening rate or limit of chloride content in concrete. Proper use of air entraining agents, water reducing agents, air entraining and water reducing agents, and air entraining and high range water reducing agents in concrete may result in many desirable effects, such as reducing of unit water content, improvement of workability, increase in resistance to freezing, and air entraining agents. Proper use of air entraining agents, water reducing agents, air entraining, and water reducing, both, and air entraining and high range water reducing agents in concrete may result in many desirable effects, such as reduction of unit water content, improvement of workability, increase in resistance to freezing and thawing, improvement in water tightness, etc. Effects of these agents may, however, vary depending on quality of cement, aggregate, and agents themselves, mixed proportions, method of construction, etc. Even in cases when the air content is same, effect may actually be different depending upon average size of air voids or their distribution. Air entraining and high range water reducing agent. Air entraining and high range water reducing agent has an ability of air entraining itself. Air entraining itself, it can decrease water content more than ordinary air entraining and water reducing agents, and slump loss becomes small. Therefore, it's possible not only to reduce unit water content rather than when using ordinary air entraining and water reducing agents, but also to make concrete which has the same flow ability as superplasticized concrete in mix plants, and it's possible to choose doses for its purpose of use within wide range. However, when air entraining and high range water reducing agent is used, performance of concrete such as less change and slump or workability is easily affected by service conditions like atmosphere, temperature, materials, and so on in comparison with ordinary concrete. Therefore, when using air entraining and high range water reducing agent, characteristics of concrete and limit of its effect must be sufficiently understood. It must be sufficiently examined that appropriate uses of air retaining and high range water reducing agent in order to surely obtain effect for purpose prior to real application. And it's also important to appropriately treat concrete with air retaining and high range water reducing agent because of different workability from using ordinary using usual air retaining and water reducing agent. High range water reducers are low set retarding and low air intake effects and can be classified according to chemical composition into a number of groups including polycarboxylic acid, naphthalene, melamine and other types, and we were inclined in study onto polycarboxylic. We continued lot and naphthalene and melamine which we are busy in with a high water reducing and low air maintaining effects. High range water reducers make it possible to easily obtain high strength concrete, and that is what we say. High range water reducers make it possible to easily obtain high strength concrete with a compressive strength of even 80 to 100 newtons per millimeter square, or you can say M. You can say 80 to M100. M80 to M100 Newton. So this is 800, we can say M800 to 1000. If, however, naphthalene and melamine type high range water reducers are used, and that is water reducer calling F naphthalene and melamine type high range water reducers are used, care needs be resorted to because a large slump loss may occur. Freeze thaw resistance may become low if an air retaining agent is not used. That is, freeze thaw resistance may become low. Standard type superplasticizers are used in ordinary concreting work. Standard type superplasticizers and have been used in many projects. Retarded type superplasticizers have both been both a superplasticizing effect and a set retarding effect. That is superplasticizing effect. That's a retarder type. Superplasticizers have both a superplasticizing effect and a set retarding effect, and is used to reduce post superplasticizing slump loss when concrete is placed under hot weather or transportation of concrete takes long time. So setting delay time of a set retarding type superplasticizer varies with quantity of admixture used. It may not be possible to achieve required set retarding effect depending on service conditions or mixed proportions of concrete. It's good practice to try to control set retarding time effect suitable for purpose by paying attention to chemical admixtures added to base concrete. Care needs to be resorted because the setting of concrete containing a retard type superplasticizer may be excessively delayed under influence of chemical admixture added to base concrete, so the durability of concrete decreases. Why? Because care must be taken because of setting of concrete containing a retarded type superplasticizer may be excessively delayed under influence of chemical admixtures added to base concrete. So its durability of concrete decreases, and we can see that plasticizers. Then go to corrosion inhibitors for reinforcing bars. It's very important point. We did before also, but it's an important point. We have to refresh. Corrosion inhibitors for reinforcing bars in concrete are chemical admixtures to be used for suppressing corrosion caused by chloride from use of sea and sea sand. That is corrosion inhibitors. Corrosion inhibitors for reinforcing bars in concrete are chemical admixtures to be used for suppressing corrosion caused by chloride from use of sea sand. chlorides from use of C sand. And corrosion inhibitors may be classified in the following three types: corrosion inhibitors of passive film, that is corrosion inhibitors of passive film forming type, and corrosion inhibitors of precipitation film forming type, and corrosion inhibitors of adsorption film forming type. So there are three. One is passive film forming type, passive film. Other one is, you can say, the precipitation film forming type, and next one is corrosion inhibitors of adsorption film forming type. At present, all inhibitors available market have a nitrite component, nitrite, Nitrite, nitrite component is main constituent of suppress corrosion by oxidizing metal surface, and form passive film. All types of inhibitors are also not to disturb setting, hardening, durability of concrete. Not to disturb setting, hardening, and durability of concrete. Moreover, these are required to be easy to use and not to contain harmful components to human body. Some papers report that local corrosion of steel becomes remarkable under environment where much chloride ions permeate from outside of concrete structure because of insufficient effect of inhibitors. Even if required quantity of inhibitors for corrosion protection of steel against chloride in sea and sea sand is added. It says if required quantity of inhibitors, if required quantity of thus for corrosion protection, steel against chloride in sea sand is added. Therefore, when inhibitors is applied for construction of concrete standard structures under these environmental conditions, the doses and effect of inhibitors shall be examined. So, for chemical admixtures in the class 1, class 2, class 2, there are no specifications on quality for methods we use. Methods we use are different. This necessary employment of them to confirm the quality and investigate methods used by researching service records and doing sufficient tests. That's to say, it's necessary to research quality performance, service records, uniformity, price, etc., and investigate the respective effects on workability, strength, durability, water tightness, volume change, steel product quality, and cost of concrete. So you see, investigation of efforts like this, effects of workability, that's first of all workability, then strength. Means first we have to work on that, and it must be strength, must gain strength, and then long journey, and that's durability of the same strength. And of course, water tightness required, and volume change is also required. Steel protective coating quality may be required. Cost of concrete, of course, you can say. So we are going to reinforcing bars, and we'll talk about that. Before that, we go back to our concrete corrosion fights. So we'll go back to melamine and that naphtha. Right, at this point we'll come back. Now let's just solve the melamine, and then we're gonna. It is naphthalene. Let's see what naphthalene is and how first. Space 13 here, naphthalene, and also we have here, you can see. So what we discuss in this, first of all, is naphthalene is an organic compound. We said yesterday also naphthalene is an organic compound with formula C10H8, C10H8. Its simplest polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon, and is in white crystalline solid with a characteristic order that is detectable at concentrations as low as 0.8 ppm parts per million, a mass as in aromatic hydrocarbon. Naphthalene's structure consists of fused pair of benzene rings. It's best known as main ingredient of traditional mothballs. This is structure shown here, as you can see. Discussed this last time. Physical properties we discussed. And lithiation. Lithiation is analogous to synthesis of phenyl lithium. This phenyl lithium is a conversion of one to baromonophthalene to lithophthalene, lithium phthalene by lithium halogen exchange. Resulting is by second lithiation in contrast to behavior of phenyl. So we can say reduction in oxygen also we discussed last time, reduction of oxygen. Then production we discussed. It's a production that we discussed about. It's derived from coal tar from 1960s. So this is how do we, and then the petrochemical refining, and discuss about that also. Other sources and occurrences. I can say naphthalene interstellar medium. So I have say proton frontally. You can say it's about it is we say other sources and occurrences are aside from coal tar, aside from coal tar, trace amounts of naphthalene are produced by magnolias and some species of deer as well as farmers. So Thran termites. So I say what are sources? These are sources. What are sources of this? Aside from coal tar, trace amounts of naphthalene are produced by magnolias and some species of deer as well as formosans. Formosans, you can say formosan subterranean termite, possibly produced by termite as a repellent against ants, poisonous fungi and nematode worms. Some strains of endophytic fungus, that is muscodor, endophytic fungus, muscodor albus, produce naphthalene among a range of volatile organic compounds, while muscodor vitigenus produces naphthalene almost exclusively. So let me repeat this. This is a little complicated one, and there's other sources and occurrences. And then there's a naphthalene in interstellar medium. So let us first do other sources and occurrence. For information, maybe not the engineering, but it's important to know. And it is aside from coal tar, we talked of coal tar before, the trace amounts of naphthalene are produced by magnolias and some species of deer as well as formosan subterranean termite, possibly produced by termite as a repellent against ants, poisonous fungi and nematode worms. Some strains of endophytic fungus, muscodor albus, produce naphthalene among a range of volatile organic compounds, while muscodor vitigenus produces naphthalene almost exclusively. Naphthalene is interstellar medium. This naphthalene has been tentatively detected in interstellar medium in direction of star Canis. Interstellar medium in direction of star Canis 52 in constellation Perseus. More than 20% of carbon in universe, may be associated with polyaromatic hydrocarbons, including naphthalene. That is 20% of carbon in universe may be associated with polyaromatic hydrocarbons, including naphthalene. say protonated actions of naphthalene, that is C10H9 plus. Protonated cations of naphthalene are source of part of spectrum of unidentified infrared emissions. Protonated cations of naphthalene are source of part of spectrum of unidentified infrared emissions. Unidentified infrared emissions. Protonated naphthalene differs from neutral naphthalene, namely that used is mothballs. Protonated naphthalene differs from neutral naphthalene in that it is an additional hydrogen atom. URI, that is unidentified infrared emissions from naphthalene cations. And this website. This research has been published as mothballs in space. And what is the protonated, that is said? Let's see what is protonated cations. And let's see what is protonated. Actual meaning is protonated. Let's see protonated. Protonated meaning transfer a proton to a molecule, and this is which forms a coordinate bond to proton. Protonated, I see. Protonated meaning, that is your actual meaning is transfer a proton to which form a coordinate bond to proton. Acid environment favors conversion of these anions to their protonated changed form. Transfer a proton which forms a coordinate bond to proton. Or you can say protonation is a fundamental chemical. Reaction and is step in many stoichiometric and catalytic processes. Some ions and molecules can undergo more than one. This is also definition. I'll just have to read it as Wikipedia, and I think it gives better explanation just for understanding. In chemistry, protonation or hydronation is same. Protonation or hydronation is adding a proton, or you can say, or hydrogen action cation, a proton to an atom, adding proton or hydrogen to an atom, molecule or ion, forming a conjugate acid. When conjugate acid, and that is some examples are protonation of water by sulfuric acid. Protonation of water by sulfuric acid says H2SO4 plus H2O is equal to H3O and HSO4. Protonation of isobutane in formation of a carbocation, that is CH3O2. So this is protonation of hydrogen. So you can say protonation is a fundamental chemical reaction, and is a step in many stoichiometric and catalytic processes. Some ions and molecules can undergo more than one protonation and are labeled polybasic, which is true in many biological macromolecules. Protonation and deprotonation, which is removal of proton, occur in most acid-base reactions. They are core of most acid-base reaction theories. Brensted-Lowry acid is defined as chemical substance, that protonates another substance upon forming a substrategy. This is the definition. So I'll just try to, if you want to see, you can, I just print it out for you if you think, just and leave it. It's not very big, but that's better to see if you want to see that. Just keep in mind that you saw that. it's better, That's a printout, and you can see that. I'll close it after reading. You see how it works. No problem. Just see that it's happening. How it's happening. That's what is said. Protonation. That's here. Protonation. In chemistry, protonation or hydronation is adding of a proton or hydrogen cation to an atom, molecule or ion, forming a conjugate acid. That is what it is. And this you can say protonation of water, of sulfuric acid, protonation of isobutane and form of carbonation, and protonation, a fundamental chemical reaction, and step in many stoichiometric and catalytic processes. Some joint ions and molecules can undergo more than protation and air level polybasic. So it's like that. You must have seen that. Reversible catalysis. So it's only simple page. I'll close it now. Protonation not required now, and we go further on this. Naphthalene. Naphthalene is used in many as a precursor to other chemicals. Single large use of naphthalene is industrial production of phthalic anhydride. All the more phthalic anhydride is made from oxalate. So we can say hydrogenation of naphthalene gives that which is used in hydrogen donors. The same way, naphthalene, sulfonic acids and sulfonates. Naphthalene, sulfonic acids and sulfonates. Many naphthalene sulfonic acids, naphthalenosulfonic acid, sulfonic acid. How many percent of battery is left? Still how much? It is about 72%. No problem at all. It's already 4:31. No problem, let us say. So we can say many naphthalene sulfonic acids and sulfonate are useful. Naphthalene sulfonic acids and sulfonates are useful. Alkyl naphthalene sulfonates are surfactants. What it says, many naphthalenic, many you can say, let me put this proton off also, just a minute, let's see this off. So it is here. Let me blow a little more. Okay, so it's better now. Many, oh my God, where's those? Many naphthalenic. These words are very long actually. Many naphthalene sulfonic acids and sulfonates are useful. Alkyl naphthalene sulfonate are surfactants. Amino naphthalene sulfonic acids. Naphthalenes substituted with ether and sulfonic acids. Ether. What is ether? That's also one point. Ether, and let's see what ether means. In fact, I many times tried this. Ether. Says ethers are a class of organic compounds. Ethers are a class of organic compounds that contain an ether group, an oxygen atom connected to two alkyl or aryl groups. They have general formula ROR, where R and R apostrophe represent alkali or aryl group. So first R is alkali and other R is alkyl and other R is aryl group. This is ether, ethers, ether. So if we talk of ether in Wikipedia, let you know it again because it is important one. It says that ethers are, again I say, ethers are class of organic compounds that contain an ether group, an oxygen atom connected to two alkyl or aryl group. These have general formula R apostrophe. R and R represent alkyl, all and all, that's R apostrophe represent alkyl or aryl group. Ethers can again be classified into two varieties. If alkyl groups are same on both sides of oxygen atom, it is simple or symmetrical ether. Whereas if they are different, ethers are called mixed or unsymmetrical ethers. A typical example of first group is solvent and N-acetic diethyl ether, commonly referred to simply as ether. So here is CH3, CH2O, CH2, CH3. There is, you can say one is O. Let's say organic compound that contains an ether group. An oxygen atom is connected to CH2 and CH3. Ethers are common in organic chemistry and even more prevalent in biochemistry, as they are common linkages in carbohydrates and lignin. Structure and bonding. Ethers feature band COC linkages in dimethyl ether. Bond angle is 111 degrees, 111 degrees, and CO distance are 141 pm. Barrier to rotation about CO bonds is low. Bonding of oxygen in ethers, alcohols, and water is similar. In language of valence bond theory, hybridization of oxygen is sp. Oxygen is more electronegative. Oxygen is more electronegative than carbon. Thus, alpha hydrogens of ethers are more acidic than those of simple hydrocarbons. They are far less acidic than alpha hydrogen or carboxyl group. Ethers can be symmetrical or type ROR or unsymmetrical of type ROR. Examples of former are dithyl ether, dimethyl ether, diproyl ether. Illustrative examples symmetricals are arousol, methanox, benzene. So this is just ether. Try to give you information. We cannot go into details of that. And that's why we have to close it now. Ether. We come back to our own talk. And that is here. So this talking of here. So we have to go up on this. It says I again read because it's missed, so that we can be clear. Only a few pages, not to be in a hurry. Many naphthalene, sulfonic acids and sulfonates are useful, and that's true. Alkyl naphthalene, sulfonate are surfactants. Aminophthalene, sulfonic acids, naphthalenes substituted with ethers, and sulfonic acids are intermediates in preparation of many synthetic dyes. Hydrogenated naphthalenes, tetrahydron naphthalene, and decahydronaphthalene are used as low volatility solvents. Naphthalene sulfonic acids are also used in synthesis of 1 naphtha, 1 and 2 naphtha. precursors for various dyestuffs, pigments, rubber processing, chemical and other chemicals and pharmaceuticals. That's very important. Well, hydrogenated naphthalene, hydrogenated naphthalene, that is tetraline, tetra, tetraline means hydronaphthalene, and decay hydronaphthalene, that is tetrahydrine, decahydrine, decaline. So that was tetraline, it is decaline, are used as low volatility solvents. Naphthalene sulfonic acids are also used in synthesis of naphthol and naphthol. That is naphthol and naphthol, precursors for various dyestuffs, pigments, rubber processing, chemicals and other chemicals and pharmaceuticals. Naphthalene sulfonic acids are used in naphthalene sulfuric acids are used in manufacture of naphthalene sulfonate polymer plasticizers, dispersants, which are used to produce concrete and plaster boards. That is what naphthalene sulfonic acids are used in manufacture of naphthalene sulfonate polymer plasticizers. These wall boards or drywalls, they are also used as dispersants in synthetic and natural rubbers, and some tanning agents and syntons. Okay. So what we say, let me repeat, it's an important paragraph. Naphthalene sulfonic acids are used in manufacture of naphthalene sulfonate polymer plasticizers or dispersants, which are used to produce concrete and plaster board, wall board or drywall. They are also used as dispersants in synthetic and natural rubbers, and as tanning agents in leather industries, agriculture formulations, dispersants for pesticides, dyes, and as dispersant in land acid battery plates. Wetting agent and this surfactant. Alkyl naphthalene sulfonates are used in many industrial applications as non-detergent wetting agents that effectively disperse colloidal systems in aqueous media. Major commercial applications are in agricultural chemical industry, which uses ANS for vegetable powder and vegetable here. Now, alkaline naphthalene sulfonates are used in many industrial applications as non-detergent wetting agents that effectively disperse colloidal systems in aqueous media. Major commercial applications are in agricultural chemical industry, which uses ANS for vegetable powder and vegetable granular flowable formulation, and the foaming principles of ANS for bleaching and dyeing operations. As a fun, as a fumigant, as fumigants, naphthalene. Naphthalene has been used as a household fumigant. It was a primary ingredient in mothballs, although its use has largely been replaced in favor of alternatives such as 1,4-dichlorobenzene in a sealed container containing naphthalene. In a sealed container containing naphthalene pellets, naphthalene vapors build up to level toxic to both adults and larval forms of many moths that attacks textiles. Other fumigant uses of naphthalene are I'm sorry. All right, sorry. Other fumigants uses naphthalene include use of soil as a fumigant, use of soil as a fumigant, pesticide in attic space to repel animals and insects. That is other fumigant. Fumigant it is. Other fumigants use of naphthalene include use of soil as a fumigant, pesticide in attic spaces to repel animals and insects, and the museum storage drawers and cupboards to protect contents from attack by insect. Naphthalene is a repellent to opossums. Opossums, alright, I'll leave it now. Other uses, it is used as naphthalene is used in polytechnic special effects, pyrotechnic. That is, it is used in pyrotechnic special effects, such as generation of black smoke, that is black smoke, and then simulated explosion, that is pyrotechnic effect, pyrotechnic special effect. It's used to create artificial pores. It's used to create artificial pores in manufacture of high porosity grinding wheels. It is used in, you can say, create artificial pores in manufacture of high porosity grinding wheels. In past, naphthalene was administered orally to kill parasitic worms in livestock. Naphthalene and its alkyl homologue are honor constituent of creosote. So that you can say in a sealed. Now, in other uses, it's used to in pyrotechnic special effects such as generation of black smoke and simulated explosions. It is used to create artificial pores in manufacture of high porosity grinding wheels. In past, naphthalene was administered orally to kill parasitic worms in livestock. Naphthalene and its alkyl homologues are major constituents of creosote. Naphthalene is used in engineering to study heat transfer using mass sublimation. It has been proposed as an alternative propellant for cold gases, satellite thrusters. Then health effects. Let's see health effects. Let's see what the fact is, and exposure to large amounts of naphthalene may damage or destroy red blood cells. That's what we have to understand. Exposure to large amounts of naphthalene may damage or destroy red blood cells, most commonly in people with inherited condition known as glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. G6PD, this glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase deficiency, which over 400 million people suffer from. Humans, in particular, children, have developed condition known as hemolytic anemia. Hemolytic anemia after ingesting mothballs or deodorant blocks containing naphthalene. Symptoms include fatigue, lack of appetite, restlessness. Okay, health benefit effects. What's the health effects? Let's see that. Again, I say exposure to large amounts of naphthalene. Exposure to large amount of naphthalene and may damage or destroy red blood cells. Exposure to large amounts of naphthalene may damage or destroy red blood cells. Most commonly in people with inherited condition known as glucose 6 phosphate dehydrogenase. Dehydrogenase deficiency, which over 200 million people suffer from. Humans, in particular children, have developed a condition known as hemolytic anemia. Hemolytic anemia after ingesting mothballs or deodorant blocks. Mothballs. Wait a minute. Mothballs. It's clear language I want to see. Mothball, a small ball made of chemical substance. A small ball made of chemical substance that protects clothes and cupboards from moths. I see mothball. Mothball definition and meaning. Mothball is ball made formerly of camphor but now often naphthalene and para-dichlorobenzene and used to keep moths element. Okay, let's move further. So we got this mothball. Now, humans, in particular children, have developed conditions known as hemolytic anemia after ingesting mothballs or deodorant blocks containing naphthalene. Symptoms include fatigue, Most of the uterine blocks containing naphthalene. Symptoms include fatigue, lack of appetite, restlessness, and pale skin. Yes. Symptoms include fatigue, lack of appetite, restless, and pale skin. Exposure to large amounts of naphthalene may cause confusion. Exposure to large amounts of naphthalene may cause confusion, nausea, nausea, nausea and vomiting, diarrhea, blood in urine, and jaundice, yellow coloration of skin, that is jaundice, yellow coloration of skin due to rise functions of liver. U.S. National Toxicology Program, U.S. National Toxicology Program held an held an experiment where male and female rats with mice were exposed to naphthalene vapors on weekdays for 2 years. Both male and female rats exhibited evidence of carcinogenesis, with increased incidences of adenoma and neuroblastoma of nose. Female mice exhibited some evidence of carcinogenesis based on increased incidences of alveolar and bronchial adenomas of living. International Agency for, let's say, US National Toxicology Program (NTP) held an experiment where male and female rats and mice were exposed to naphthalene vapors on weekdays for 2 years. Both male and female rats exhibited evidence of carcinogenesis with increased incidences of adenoma and neuroblastoma of nose. Female mice exhibited some evidence that we can stand, of course, female mice exhibited some evidence of carcinogenesis based on increased incidences of illness. Now we come to the next paragraph, that is International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies naphthalene as possibly carcinogenic to humans and animals. Group 2B, IRC also points out Right, and we have here after talking, International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies naphthalene as possibly carcinogenic to humans and animals. Group 2B, IRC also points out that acute exposure, how it is gone, I don't know, it is gone. How can you do like this? It's gone. Hey, how? International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies naphthalene as possibly carcinogenic to humans and animals. IRC also points out that acute exposure causes cataracts. It's 5 o'clock. What's happens here? IRC also points out that acute exposure causes cataracts in humans, rats, rabbits, and mice, and that hemolytic anemia described above can occur in children and infants after oral or inhalation exposure or after maternal exposure during pregnancy. Under California's public proposition 65, naphthalene is listed as known to state to cause cancer. A probable mechanism for carcinogenic effects of mothball and some type of air fresheners containing naphthalene has been identified. What it says in the California's preposition 65, naphthalene is listed as known to state or to cause cancer. A probable mechanism for carcinogenic effects of mothballs and some types of air fresheners containing naphthalene has been identified. So it says International Agency for Research on Cancer classifies naphthalene as a possible carcinogenic to humans and animals. IRC also points out that acute exposure causes cataracts in humans, rats, rabbits, and mice, and hemolytic anemia can occur in children and infants after oral or inhalation exposure or after maternal exposure during pregnancy. So regulation, US government agencies have set occupational exposure limits to naphthalene exposure. Occupational Safety and Health Administration has set a permissible exposure limit to 10 ppm, that is 50 mg per meter cube, over an 8-hour time weighted average. National Institute for Occupational Safety and Health has set a recommended exposure limit at 10 ppm 50 mg per meter cube over an 8-hour time weighted average. As well as short-term exposure limit is 15 ppm. Naphthalene minimum order threshold is 0.084 ppm. Mothballs and other products containing naphthalene have been banned within EU since. In China, use of naphthalene in mothballs is forbidden, danger to human health, and common use of natural camphor cited. Naphthalene derivatives in part list of naphthalene derivatives includes following. Let's say there as titles, you can say name, chemical formula, molar mass, melting point, boiling point, density, refractive index. I'll just see the name of these. Actually, it is naphthoic acid. Naphthoic acid C11H822 172.18 gram per molecule, 157 degrees Celsius melting point, 300 boiling point. The naphthoyl chloride chemical formula C11HC10. Likewise, you can see these properties, and naphthol and then naphthaldehyde, then nitroaphthalene, then fluoroaphthalene, then chloroaphthalene, Brahman aphthalene, and that's all. And references then, so we can say this list you can see yourself, self-explanatory. It is not to explain about this, self-explanatory, and you can say while understanding what is naphthalene, etc. I mean, I'll keep it close now. Naphthalene. I'll bring back, you can say, if you can say melamine, but we stand in melamine, that's the point here. And it is after in melamine, let's say where we were. In melamine, it's also a good one. It's also 17 pages, and we have, what we talked yesterday in melamine, that is organic compound formula C3S6 and 6 white solid is trimmer of cyanamide. So organic compound is formula is C3S6 and 6. This white solid is a trimer of cyanamide with a 135 trichain skeleton, and it's considered like cyanamide. It's contains 67% nitrogen by mass, and derivatives of fire retardant properties due to its release of nitrogen gas when burned or charred. And melamine can be combined with formaldehyde and other agents to produce melamine resins. Melamine resins. Such resins are characteristically durable, thermosetting plastic used in high pressured decorative laminates such as formica, melamine, dinnerware, laminate flooring, and dry boards. Melamine foam is used as insulation. Melamine foam is insulation. So melamine is an organic compound with formula C3S6 and 6 white solids, a trimer of cyanamide. It is triazine skeleton like cyanamide. It contains 16% the nitrogen and by mass, and derivatives have fire retardant properties due to its release of nitrogen gas when burned or charred. The melamine can be combined with formaldehyde and other agents to produce melamine resins. Such resins are characteristically durable, thermosetting plastic used in high-pressure decorative laminates such as formica, melamine, dinnerware, laminate flooring, and dry glass boards. Melamine foam is used as insulation, soundproofing material, and polymeric cleaning products such as magic eraser. This melamine, you can see NH2 and N3 here, and 2H, H2N, and this, and you can see this melamine here. So melamine is sometimes illegally added to food products. We discussed yesterday also. Drugs in order to increase apparent protein content, ingestion of melamine may lead to reproductive damage or bladder or kidney stones. And bladder cancer is also irritant when inhaled or in contact with skin. Rise United Nations Food Standards Body's Codex Alimentarius Commission has set maximum amount of melamine for allowed in powdered infant formula to 1 milligram per kilogram, and amount of chemical allowed in other foods and animals 2.5 milligram per kilogram. While not legally binding, levels allow countries to ban importation of products with excessive levels. The German word melamine was coined by combining word malum, a derivative of ammonium thiocyanate, and amine. Melamine is therefore unrelated etymologically to root malus, meaning black wheat. In one large application, melamine is combined with formaldehyde and other agents to produce melamine resins. Such resins are characteristically durable thermosetting plastic used in high pressure decorative laminates such as Formica, melamine, dinnerware, laminate flooring and dry erase board. Melamine furnishes insulation, soundproofing materials and a polymeric cleaning products such as magic eraser. Melamine is one of major components of pigment yellow 150 coloration in my inks and plastics. Melamine is one of major components in pigment yellow 150, a colorant in ink plastics. Melamine also enters fabrication of melamine polysulfonate used as superplasticizer for making high resistant concrete. Melamine also enters fabrication of polysulfonate melamine polysulfonate used as superplasticizer for making high resistance concrete. Sulfonated melamine formaldehyde, that is SMF sulfonated melamine formaldehyde, is a polymer used as cement admixture to reduce water content in concrete while increasing fluidity and workability of mix. That is cement admixture to reduce water content of concrete while increasing fluidity and workability of mix during handling and pouring. It results in concrete a lower porosity and high mechanical strength, exhibiting an improved resistance to aggressive environment and long life. Use of melamine as fertilizer for crops has been admission during 1950-60. However, melamine is much more expensive to produce than other common nitrogen. Fertilizers such as urea. Mineralization, degradation to ammonia for melamine is low, making this product both economically and scientifically impractical for use as fertilizer. Melamine and its salts are used as fire retardants. Melamine and its salts are used as fire retardant additives in paints, plastics, and paper. A melamine fiber basophil has low thermal conductivity, excellent flame resistance, and is self-extinguishing. This makes it useful for flame-resistant protective clothing, either alone or as a blend with other fibers. Melamine and its salts are used as fire retardant additives in paints, plastics, and paper. A melamine fiber basophil has low thermal conductivity, excellent flame resistance, and is self-extinguishing. This makes it useful on flame-resistant protective clothing, either alone or as a blend with other fibers. Melamine derivatives of arsenical drugs are potentially important in the treatment of African trypanosomiasis. Melamine used as non-protein nitrogen for cattle was described in 1958. However, a study concluded that melamine may not be an acceptable non-protein source for ruminants because its hydrolysis in cattle is slower and less complete than other nitrogen sources such as cottonseed meal and urea. Melamine is sometimes illegally added to food products. We have discussed this in order to increase apparent protein content. Melamine is sometimes illegally added to food products in order to increase apparent protein content. Standard tests such as Cajallia and Dumas test they estimate protein level by measuring nitrogen content, so that this can be misled by adding nitrogen-rich compounds such as melamine. There are instruments available today which can differ. So we go now to toxicity. Melamine. In fact, this is properties chemical Chemical formula C3H6N6. Molar mass 126.123 gram per molecule. Appearance white solid. Melting density 1.573 and melting point 2340 degrees Celsius. Boiling point sublimes. Soluble water 84 per liter. Solubility very slightly soluble hot alcohol. Basically, so solubility, water solubility very slightly soluble hot alcohol. Benzene, glycerol, paraffin, soluble, log P1 acidity, all like this, all properties you can see there. Missed one point. Its uses, I'm not talking of uses, I'm talking of something else here. There's toxicity, yeah, this is toxicity. Toxicity, jihad, toxicity. Short-term legal dose of melamine is on par with common table salt with LD50 of more than 3 years. Short-term lethal dose of melamine is on a par with common table salt with LD50 of more than 3 grams per kilogram of body weight. US Food and Drug Administration scientists explain that when melamine and cyanic acid are absorbed into the body stream, they concentrate and interact in urine-filled renal tubules. Then crystallize and form large numbers of round yellow crystals, which in turn block okay. So short-term lethal dose of melamine is on par with common table salt with LD50 of more than 3 grams per kilogram of body weight. US Food and Drug Administration scientists explain that when melamine and cyanuric acid are absorbed into bloodstream, they concentrate and interact in urine-filled renal tubules, then crystallize and form large numbers of round yellow crystals, which in turn block the damage. So we can say here further. So it's over, I think, when crystallized and form large numbers of young yellow crystals, which in turn block and damage renal cells, the line tubes causing kidney to form malfunction. European Union set a standard for acceptable human consumption, tolerable daily intake of TD1, TDI of melamine at 0.2 milligram per kilogram of body mass. Okay, these are nothing else to do with, acute toxicity. Acute toxicity, melamine. Melamine is reported to have an oral median lethal dose of 3248 milligram per kilogram based on rat data. It's also an irritant when inhaled and contact the skin, how irritant it is. Comes contact the skin of eyes. Reported dermal LD50 is 1000 milligram per kilogram for rabbits. A study by Soviet researchers in 1980 suggested that melamine cyanide commonly used as a fire retardant could be more toxic than either melamine. Now, melamine is reported to have an oral median lethal dose of L15 based on that data is also the irritant when inhaled in contact with skin. Right reported that it is 100 milligram per kilogram rabbit. A study by Soviet research in the 80s suggests that melamine cyanide commonly used as a fire retardant, could be more toxic than either melamine or cyanuric for rats. For rats and mice, reported LD50 melamine was 4.1 gram per kilogram given inside stomach and 3.5 gram per kilogram by inhalation, compared to 6 and 4.3 melamine and 3.4. So let's go to toxicology study in animal conducted after recall of contaminated. It is, toxicology study in animals conducted after recall of contaminated pet food concluded that combination of melamine and cyanuric acid in diet led to acute kidney injury in cats. And this, well, I think you should study it yourself here better. It's something very health related, and it should be conducted properly. And within 5 minutes, I'll be back in that time. 5 minutes important for me. I'll be back in 5 minutes. So you see, I have to close at 6 o'clock, very early. So you can say, meanwhile, let me see why my back in 5 minutes. Okay. acute toxicity, page 4, and we'll take care of this later on. And it's chronic toxicity, metabolism, treatment of regulation of food, and all this we'll discuss next time. I think we have gone through this today, and it's very, gone through this. I think let's take time now. It's already right. I'll take this. Got it. I tried to explain my position on this. I think it's okay that you got some points regarding this, and it should work. I think it should work, and I would say that we'll take care of this in this case, and let us close this. Thank you very much.